In this episode, you're going to see how the ship's engineers pull out fuel injectors from a cylinder cover of the main engine and replace it with a ready spare. During a voyage, a ship's main engine runs continuously, sometimes for weeks and sometimes even more than a month, which is why regular planned maintenance is carried out on components which are the most susceptible to wear and tear. On the ship's main engine, among the hardest hit components are the fuel injectors. As the name suggests, the function of the fuel injectors is to inject fuel into the engine cylinder. In this particular engine model, there are two injectors for each cylinder. Prior to starting any work on the injectors, the fuel oil circulating pump has been switched off and the fuel inlet valve to the specific cylinder has been closed to make sure there won't be any fuel pressure within the line. The first things to loosen will be the high pressure pipes, which connect the injectors to the fuel injection pump. The circulating line, connected by a banjo bolt, is also loosened. Once the attachments are removed, it's time to loosen the nuts holding down the injector to the cylinder cover. To pull out the injector, a special jack is used. Once the injector is pulled out, it will be brought to the workshop and pressure tested. The results will be recorded in the maintenance report for future reference. This used up fuel injector will be overhauled at a later date and will be kept as ready spare. In a previous video, I have shown how a fuel injector is overhauled. First is to dismantle the injector, then clean all the parts. Each internal part needs to be inspected for damages like cracks. Lapping is carried out on the nozzle cap. Once everything is cleaned, the injector is reassembled and pressure tested to see if it can still be used. The results of the opening pressure and leakage test will be the criteria for acceptance or rejection. If there is fuel leakage, typically the nozzle will have to be replaced as a minimum, while a low opening pressure normally dictates that the spring should be replaced. As per our planned maintenance system, the main engine fuel injectors are to be overhauled and tested every 2,000 running hours. That's about 83 days of continuous running. As per manufacturer's recommendation, the maintenance interval can go up to 8,000 hours. But usually 2,000 hours is the maintenance interval adapted by most companies, and this is based on collective practical experience. Of course, it should be replaced earlier if any abnormalities are observed during operation. Before the spare injectors can be mounted on the cylinder, the sockets need to be cleaned first. As you can see, there are particles which may damage the seating and cause exhaust gas to leak into the socket. As you can see here, this is a telltale sign of leakage. If we have left this in a bit longer, we might have had problems pulling it out. Which is why it is very important to clean the seating surfaces in the socket using the lapping tool specifically designed for this task, as well as the injector nozzle cap. This is to ensure a good enough seal and prevent the buildup of carbon, which can cause future problems when pulling out the injector. Now that the seating surfaces are very clean, it's time to mount the fuel injector onto the cylinder cover. It is a very straightforward task, which is just the reverse of the dismantling process. When tightening the nuts on the injector, the correct torque needs to be applied. For this engine model, the spring-loaded bracket will serve as the guide to determine the correct torque. As for the high pressure pipe, an actual torque wrench needs to be used to ensure the proper tightness. All in all, this job, removal of the injector, cleaning and lapping the socket, and installing the ready spares, can be completed within half an hour or even faster, assuming that all goes well. Now that's one down, 11 to go.